Now we will do a light warm-up of the imagination to immerse ourselves in the atmosphere. Press your eyes slightly and... what do you see? If you see this now, then congratulations, this is what astronauts see in space. But for them it happens because the rays of light, which were born in distant galaxies a long time ago, fly directly into the retina and seen not only by people, but also by telescopes. They show color noise in the photos, and for telescopes even the noise can be dangerous. The interference they created caused a failure in the navigation of the Hitobi spacecraft. It was lost in space and collapsed months after the launch. But the strange thing is that this doesn't happen everywhere, but only in the same area. Bermuda Triangle in space. This is the name of the South Atlantic anomaly, an area where the Earth's magnetic field sinks hundreds of kilometers, making people and vehicles vulnerable to radiation. And it's not about solar storms. The source of the anomaly is right under our feet. What is it? What does it look like? It's worth thinking about, but even more surprising. We know what Pluto looks like, what deep space looks like, but we don't know what the Earth looks like under our feet. You are about to learn what is the change of magnetic poles led to, how earthquake benefits science, why we need a weather forecaster at a depth of 3000 kilometers, and what kind of machine is hiding in the depths of the Earth. Just remember what the Earth looked like. It only recently consists of stone, dust, and all the debris that didn't become the sun. All this was attracted to each other, repelled and headed. The center of the young planet, due to the high pressure and the decay of reactive elements, began to head up more than the surface, so due to the temperature difference it was divided into 4 layers, each with its components and with its own quirks. And if you are in the middle of the planet, you'll feel that 48,000 elephants are pressing on you, and at the same time it is hot on the surface of the sun. So there is a temperature like on the surface of the sun, but on the upper layers you risk freezing without heat. And not only this where we will start. Earth crust. The thickness of the crust varies from 5 kilometers under the oceans to 70 kilometers under the continents. It is very thin layer, like an apple peel. It consists of tectonic plates, and they coincide with the continents. And India has a separate plate, once it ran over the Eurasian plate, and the Himalayas were formed. This is how mountains are formed from the collision of two tectonic plates. Their collision is a common scene. They happen all the same time, and this moment is called plate tectonics. Just don't confuse it with tectonics. Okay, when plates collide, you get mountains. What happens when the plates move apart? It happens all the same time in the oceans. Where the plates diverge from where the magma comes out, it immediately hardens and pushes all crust to the shore, burying it under the continental plate. In such place, the depression like the Mariana Trench, hiding the deepest abyss of the planet occur. But that's not all. The sticky plate melts from below and rises to take revenge in the form of hot magma, water, and gases come out of it. The pressure only increases. The mountain seems to be like a collar with cementos. The top of the mountain doesn't stand, and fountain of ash, and sulfur files out of it, and lava flows out. This is how volcanoes are born. Volcanic eruptions make us understand that inside, very close to the crust, is real hell. But more on that later. Continental oceanic plates move constantly. To understand the scale, look at Africa and South America. You probably have noticed it, but they fit together like puzzle pieces, because they used to be one and separated 118 million years ago. That was in the past. But in the future, in 15 million years, Africa will crash into Eurasia, and there will be mountains on the side, and Australia will hit Indonesia and destroy Bali completely. Okay, but how can plates in a trillion tons move in general? And the answer is simple. They float on the mantle, which is second layer of the Earth, and they are moving at the speed of the fingernails on your hand. The mantle itself consists of 2 layers. The upper one is like middle ground between solid and liquid, and lower one is very hard due to pressure, but it doesn't prevent it from moving. Heating up near the core, the rock slowly climb to the top, give head to the upper layers, and go back down. This is the engine that moves large tectonic plates. This animation is greatly accelerated, and in real time, it looks like this, but it will take many centuries to see the moment. Don't see your nails growing. This moment is called convection. How it works? In short, the metal is a large lava lamp, but instead of wax, there's a stone floating the stone. It's hard to understand, but on the scale of millions of years, it looks like this. We don't know exactly how big the stones are, but we know what is under the mantle, and it's the largest machine on our planet. This is the core. Do you think it is liquid or solid? The fact is that it is both liquid and solid at the same time, and it consists of iron and nickel. The outer core is heated so much that the elements float in it in a liquid state and form a layer the size of Mars. And in the middle of his Mars there is another layer, the size of Pluto. This inner core is the central and last part of the planet, and great pressure squeezes iron and nickel with such force that it becomes solid even though the temperature there is 6000 degrees. It's cool, but why are iron and nickel in the middle? Why do you walk on the ground instead of iron? Why? Because iron and nickel are heavy substances. They feel the path at the birth of the planet, and all the light elements that we walk on the bread rose to the top. It was such a small dive into the middle of our planet. This is what it looks like. Solid grass, the molten rock underneath, then solid rock, liquid metal and solid metal. Thanks to the 2004 earthquake caused a deadly tsunami off the coast of Sumatra. People tracked the waves from the tremors using a network of stations and saw that the waves, passing through the globe, changed their strength and speed, and that's how they understood what our world consists of a different depths. Earthquake is a full-fledged ultrasound on the Earth. During these studies, scientists have noticed some strange things. Waves that cannot pass through liquid began to fight in the center of the Earth. Now there is a liquid, or rather a liquid core, and this core is perhaps the most valuable thing on the planet. Next to him we are sitting, eating and generally going about our daily business. So what makes it unique is that the Earth is as won the jackpot thanks to him, and received a magnetic field. It protects the Earth from solar wind, because otherwise the wind would blow away our atmosphere and fry us. But 4 billion years ago a magnetic shield opened up over our planet and created the conditions for the first life to appear on our planet. If you think that the magnetic field isn't important to us, then look at other planets. Mars looks like a scorched desert, and Venus is a hot bowl with a thick and spicy soup instead of an atmosphere. But we are lucky. Where does the magnetic field come from? What is happening there so mysteriously in the center of our planet? The pressure of the upper layers of the Earth, including the thin layer of us, does not allow the inner core to melt. This solid layer gives energy upwards in liquid metal, and rotation of the Earth spins these flows in a spiral, and electric current is born in a vortex of liquid iron, and physics says where there is electricity, there will be a magnetic field. They are just simply inseparable. Just look at this experiment. We bring a wire with the current to the compass, and this magnetic field moves the arrow. This is how a planet becomes a big magnet, where south and north is like the red and blue ends of a magnet. It's cool, but still the invisible shield in the TV series protects not only our existence but the life of the entire ecosystem, because if we were not there, we don't know what would happen to our planet at all. And we would not make a weather forecaster for the liquid core at a depth of 3000 kilometers. And I will explain it to us now. Only instead of events and cyclones, a magnetic field is mapped. This is done with the help of such media zones and satellites, which help to find the wind from the liquid metal underground, at the stars under Canada, how the globe to Siberia. Flew at a speed of 16 km per year, but this wind can shift the Earth's magnetic poles, which is happening now. The North magnetic poles is shifting faster and faster towards Siberia, crawling along the Canadian islands for 115 years, and they are accelerating sharply. Stop, let's do it again. Here is the distance in 115 years, and here is 35 years, and the speed is only increasing. You know, no one tells us that our poles are changing, and it's a very big catastrophe. And what should we expect next time? The magnetic field will weaken, and solar radiation will pierce the ozone layer like Swiss cheese. Birds and fish will lose their way and not return home. People will get cancer more. Astronauts will have to be evacuated from the ice, and the electronics on all satellites will gradually burn out. But it won't happen tomorrow, and we'll have time to prepare for it. And you know, it's interesting whether our generations will be able to reach the center of the Earth and find out what is hidden under our feet.
The deepest place where people have been able to reach is 12,261 meters. And you know, this has made us that much closer to the center of the Earth, and is located in Orkestan. It's called the Kola borehole, and it is deep biome, but just a channel with a diameter of just over 20 centimeters.
But let's imagine that we can get to the center of the Earth, and then what kind of machine do we need for this?
How do you like this ship? An amphibious ship. We'll get there 100%, but we need to add accelerators for it. Now we can go. We will drill the crust without any problem. At a depth of 3.5 kilometers, we meet the last worm, and in another 400 meters, we'll break the record for the descent of people into a mine in South Africa, and the last inhabitants of the planet will be microbes at a depth of 6 kilometers. Now we are alone. At a depth of 40 kilometers, the crust ends, and now everything around consists of one metal, which is also found in meteorites and lunar and Martian soil, and is also used to take jewelry at a depth of 100 kilometers. The same hot caramel will begin. They wanted to send nuclear waste to this depth, as it will slowly melt the Earth. But drilling the liquid metal is like digging a hole in the sea, so it turned out the ship's propeller here, at a depth of 115 kilometers, will already encounter diamonds.
When approaching the core, something strange happens. Now most of the Earth mass is on the ship, and therefore gravity pulls it not only down, but also up, slowing the descent.
To move faster, we need to turn on something like a jet engine and fly a rocket into the middle of the oceans with liquid methane. When the ship reaches the very center of the Earth, it will be in a paradoxical situation. It will be pressed from all sides by the mass of the whole planet, but at the same time, it will be in zero gravity like the Aces.
What we have under our feet, but getting it isn't easy. And not only science capable of this, but also of solving the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle in space.
Scientists believe that under this place, there is a huge spot of hot matter and another above the Pacific Ocean, each of them 100 times higher than Mount Everest. If they were on the surface, the ISS would have to fly over them. And what can it do? It can throw its energy upwards and create pieces of islands like Hawaii, or cool the core, which will eventually weaken the Earth's magnetic field and separate it into four poles. This version of the structures. They are powered by supervolcanoes, and none of them have woken up in 20,000 years, but when a volcano erupts, it makes a powerful explosion in Indonesia. The acid rain and the sky is covered with dust, like in a nuclear winter.
It depends on this whether satellites will fly over us and whether we will not die at all, and therefore we need to study and understand what is happening under our feet.